Welcome to Healing Your Families. I'm Emily Penrod, and I help you as a parent go from frustration, stress, and overwhelm to calm, confidence, and joy, so you can achieve the quality of family life that you desire. I am so excited for our guest today. I have the honor of having Rozanne Marsh with me, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say. She understands how the brain works. So she's going to talk about her business, No Brainerz. Rozanne, welcome.
Thank you so much, Emily. I'm excited to be here and excited that you are talking about education and in regards to our children and what can we do to help our kids. And I have a passion, and the passion is really geared towards empowerment. And that came about years and years ago when I was going through my own things. I don't know about you, Emily, but and all of those who are listening to this, do you ever find that when you are lacking something in your life, when you are struggling with something in your life, when something's knocking you around, and you go out there and you search for answers and you're diligent about finding what are those solutions out there? Because I'm not finding them, they're not really available. And sometimes we have to reinvent the wheel or invent the wheel to be able to come up with those solutions. And I kind of feel like that's what I had to do, because I had problems with teens and problems with life, and pretty soon it was like, man, I need to pull something together that can be beneficial for those. And really, the program I have is called Level Up Empowering Possibilities, and it's an empowerment curriculum. And it is a curriculum. It's a 14-week curriculum, and it's for teens. And quite honestly, it's for the teens in all of us. So if any of you listening to this has ever been a teen, this is actually for you also. But my program is a virtual and a physical, tangible product. Because some people will say, well, is this just online? And I'm like, no. This is physical also. And I'll explain a little bit about why that needs to be. But you're right, I am a brain nerd. I affectionately call myself a brain nerd, because anything that has to do with the brain, I want to learn about it. Because I think the more we learn about our brain and how it works, then we can like brain hack it. We can literally come up with some tools or use some tools that meet the brain where it's at and create some amazing momentum in our life. So I'm really excited to be here today, and not sure exactly where you want me to start, but.
Well, I love the way you did start by sharing why it's important to you, how you learned about it. And I totally agree. I really think the times we learn and grow the most are when we're experiencing our greatest challenges. Excellent. But I was particularly interested in, I too am fascinated with the brain, how it works. And I love that name, No Brainerz.
Yeah, and it's kind of different spelling. Is K-N-O-W, and then Brainerz with a Z. So for some people, if they're Google searching and they're like, I'm not finding it, or I'm not finding Level Up, but it's K-N-O-W. And I thought at the very end, if you're okay, I'd like to show you the website and how they can get there. And I have kind of a special discount for those that are listening in today. But I have to tell you, this has been a journey for me. A real journey, and all of us have a journey, and nothing in our life is a coincidence. I think we're led to do different things and experience different things that bring us to a place where, we can turn around and serve or create or be a part of some amazing things. And right now, really helping teens become empowered is a passion of mine. And what I found is that parents need to go on the journey with them, because the parents are the ones that need to know this also. It's interesting. Now, this curriculum was kind of born out of some teen retreats that we used to have at my home. And we'd have 2.5 days, and we'd have 35, 40 teens here, and we put them through different learning strategies, and they ate it up. They were hungry for it. And when it would end, they were like, when is the next one? When is the next one? Well, we found that when you were able to give them a skill, a tool that was simple and usable and worked, they were on fire. And isn't that way that sometimes we think that to solve our problems in life or to become more empowered is a really difficult thing, but sometimes it's just like nobody's shown us what that skill is, that tool is. So that's how it all came out.
As a retired high school teacher, I know that that's what they need. They need that stimulation. They need to be learning something and something they believe in. Haven't you also found that most people underestimate their mental abilities? They're actually smarter than they think they are.
Well, absolutely. We actually have inside of us all of the answers. We have everything that we need, but we just need to know how to unlock that. And what has been fun about Level Up is we've been able to give them some tools that actually, like I said, meet the brain where it's at and assist them in a way that the brain learns and that the brain can understand. And we even have some things that kind of hack the subconscious. Because quite honestly, isn't it our subconscious and our ego that kind of get in the way sometimes of us being able to problem solve, being able to participate in life? And Level Up, Empowering Possibilities, is kind of a unique curriculum. So this is a curriculum for homeschooling communities, for private families. It's for charter schools. It's for after school programs. So it's for those who want to gather youth or adults. I have lots of adult classes going on right now. And in fact, I have one woman and she's on her 3rd week and she's just over the moon excited. She said, these women are eating this up. In fact, I had we had a beta group with this last abridgment of Level Up. And we had 9-year-olds up to 21-year-olds because they really want to kind of see, okay, how do we have to modify the information to the age? Because, I'm like, a 9-year-old is very different from a 21-year-old. So it was really a eclectic group, really fun. But one of the mothers called me, she goes, I hope you're okay with this, but I've been reading the manual and watching the videos and doing it with my daughter. Is that okay? I'm like, well, of course it's okay. Because, it's just like, and it's not like this, but just to give you an example, when we have a dog and it needs to be trained and we send it away to be trained and it comes back, but the family still has the same habits or, hasn't learned the same things, the dog after a while reverts back to its old behaviors. So we have found that when the parents know this information, they can speak the same language, they understand the tools, they can reinforce them with them. In fact, most times we have the teens that are teaching the parents these skills. It was really cute. I have a group in Minnesota and the mom called me and she did a junior high group for all her daughter's friends. So what I do is I teach the facilitators. I teach you how to teach the stuff and then you gather your group. So she gathered all these junior high girls. And she had an 8-year-old at home that was like, Mom, please let me be a part of this group. And she was like, honey, you're just a little bit too young for this. And so at night, unbeknownst to her, she would take the manual and she'd sneak it into her bedroom and she was reading the manual. And then the next morning, she heard her daughter teaching the curriculum to the 6-year-old little brother. And she's like, okay, you're a part of Level Up. You're going to be here with us. And then the mom sent me this text, this beautiful text. And she said, I want you to know, my daughter Olivia said, you know what, Mom, ever since Level Up came in our life, I think we're closer than ever before. But when there's this commonality, when they share something, when they share the language, when they can share the skills and they're all working for the same thing and trying to level up their languaging skills and the way that they think and the way that they act and the way they react to setbacks, etc. Anyway, it is a bonding experience. It's kind of exciting.
I love the way it addresses the whole family can get involved in this. And I totally agree with that it's those family dynamics. I found the same thing. I ended my teaching career at a residential treatment facility for adolescents, youth at risk. And we found that to be true. If we didn't work with the parents as well as the youth, they would return home and fall into the same old patterns. You have to change the whole family system, get level up for everyone. I love that. And you mentioned the subconscious mind. So do you deal with that directly?
Oh, absolutely. And see, really, level up is a journey. When we did the retreats, we would do different pocket things, but it wasn't as comprehensive as this is. I mean, this is so content rich. People look at the sides of it. And of course, it's incredibly graphic fun. I worked with a graphic artist for like 9 months on it to make it visually appealing. And that's part of working with the brain, right? That visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, the more senses that you can teach with, the easier it is to learn, and the longer you retain it. And then on top of that, it has a companion guide that goes with it. This becomes their documented journey. And then it has some amazing tools at the end that becomes a way that we prepare their brain in the morning to go out there and face the world. And at night, how do you process everything that you've gone through before you go to sleep? I mean, there is science and incredible tools behind preparing the brain and utilizing the brain and the body. Really, they are one and the same, because the neural system goes throughout the brain, the gut, the heart, and the entire body. So this is written in the language of modern day electronics and the programs that run it. And it's based on the science of the body and the mind. So we find out what programs are running you, what life experiences you've had, that you look through these programs and you're reacting to life, and you're either taking advantage of things or you're not taking advantage of things. And we're able to go in and find out what your programs are. And then we help you go into the subconscious and find some of those. So if you looked at this, and this was like an iceberg, the upper 5% is that subconscious. You well know that as an educator.
The conscious, yeah.
The lower 95% is that subconscious, right?
Yes.
So it is really running our life, and we're not even aware of it. It's just on autopilot.
Yes. Yeah. That's my understanding, that our willpower is in our conscious mind, but our habits in our subconscious. That's why we can make the resolve, I'm cutting out sweets, and the next thing we know, we're eating a donut, because those habits take over. So you've got to go down to the subconscious and change those habits.
And it's interesting because a lot of people that, well, you can't get down to the subconscious if you can't remember them. Like, but when you understand the neurology of the neural system and how the brain records all these different experiences, how you can unrecord them. I mean, you can't just delete,
No, but you can replace a healthier program, especially for young children. For teenagers and adults, they develop that reticular activating system that will block out thoughts. That's why if you don't feel good about yourself and someone tries to compliment you on how you look, you'll reject that. But
absolutely,
a young child is open to everything. That's why it's so critical for parents to start making those positive statements to their children and telling them that they're capable and worthy and deserving.
You're spot on, because those foundational years are ages birth to 7. And that's where we're getting a lot of those thought loops and beliefs.
Helping them write those programs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that that looking through. And it's kind of interesting. I do some retreats now for kids. I mean, I used to do that all the time. And now I train the trainers. So they come and they get to experience it, and they get to do all the fun things. And this is all experiential. And you know what it does to the learning curve when you throw in experiential. When we put in movement and all sorts of crafts and discussions and manipulations and journaling, they retain this information. They are that neuroplasticity. They're writing those new neurons. But this is fun and it's engaging. And when something is fun and engaging, but you're learning powerful skills, watch out. I mean, I had one parent that had 2 kids in it and a nephew, and he just keeps texting me every week, when are you going to teach the youth again? Because their kids made quantum leaps. This little 9-year-old, she was the 9-year-old. The mother said, now she probably won't speak when she comes to your group because she's really, really shy. Oh, this girl blossomed. She ran for her school class president, won it, had posters. And the dad was like, what did you do? We said, we just turned her on to who she really is. But let's go back to that subconscious, because you asked a really amazing question, Elu, and that was, do you work with the subconscious? Now, one of the things we know about the subconscious is it has all those good memories too. It has those amazing memories. And we learn these things either through emotion or repetition, right? But it also has those things that hold us back in our life. And we need to be able to find those things that are holding us back. One of my chapters, it's a powerful chapter. It's healing your wounds. And you're like, okay, how do you heal wounds? But I have a super powerful journaling prompt that I put them through. And I have to say that every facilitator that goes through that says that's one of their top 3 most impactful things that they go through. Every one of them have a breakthrough that's amazing. But to see young boys, and if you know young boys, adolescent boys, they don't necessarily talk a lot, especially about feelings, right? Now the girls, they'll talk all day about the feelings, but the boys maybe not. And they're very private. And so this is a very private journaling thing, but it's really powerful. And so I lead them into it and how to get into it. And they find that thing in their subconscious they had no idea it was there. And then we do a journaling prompt around it. I have a formula for how, when you're going through it, so you end on a high note, to watch young men writing just as fast as they can. Because it's like just coming to it. And it's a way to vent, a way to release what has been stuck in there that they didn't know was stuck in there. And it's actually like a countenance change you see happening in them. I mean, it makes me want to cry thinking about it, because it's so powerful to see that there are methods that we can release some of the anxiety, the stress that is causing anxiety, depression, suicide, all these things that these teens and adults, we are all facing. And when we're talking about education is incredibly important. We have to have education, but there's this thing called social emotional intelligence that is invaluable. And if we can teach our kids how to control their thoughts, their mind, their emotions, their actions, they're unstoppable. But they don't know how to do that. And they don't realize that they do have that power to do it. And it's so interesting. I call myself a paradigm shifter, because once they see, oh, I have control over that, and this is how I can have control over it, it is liberating to them. Because now they understand, oh, you mean I don't just let life push me around? They just go with the flow and where it blows me? And it's like, no, there are tools to help you take control of those over 60,000 thoughts that come into your mind. And there's a way for you to change your emotion and your stress level and how you feel. I think when I talk to parents about what are those things that you really fear for your children, and a lot of them are like, well, they're not motivated, or they're stuck in their electronics, or they're depressed, or they're involved in addictions, or they're so stressed out trying to be perfect and do everything that they're not even enjoying life. And then it's interesting that when you talk to teens, they have a little different story. Obviously, anxiety, depression, stress, it's huge for them because of where their brain is developmentally. Because when you understand where the teen brain is developmentally, in fact, I have a podcast that explains to you on the teen brain. Any parent who has not learned about the teen brain needs to, because it's an aha moment for you, because you'll go, well, no wonder they're acting that way. And so it's actually a parent really is obligated to learn, and the teen needs to know where their brain is too, because then they're saying, well, no wonder I'm so stressed out. Well, no wonder I have anxiety. But when we can teach them, this is how immediate way to change, to shift your emotion, to shift your mood, to get into a different frequency or vibration or whatever you want to call it. In fact, I have a chapter that has over 65 ways to change their emotions, to change their mood. And when we're talking about the state that I live in, and I don't know who will be listening to this, where you live, the suicide rate, we're like in the top in our nation, in the country for suicide.
You know,
I don't know.
from after 23 years of teaching at the high school level, I know that this is far more important curriculum for them to learn than anything that they're being taught. If they don't learn this, I loved how you talked about the social and emotional intelligence. And longitudinal studies have been done demonstrating that students who do that, youth who are able, who learn how to manage their emotions, how to express them appropriately, are successful in life, in all areas of life, in their relationships, in business, in their careers. So I love that you're doing this. And to me, this is an excellent course for parents. I think, parents should take this, should learn this and teach it to their children.
What's fun is there's two different packages, and one is a self-study and then one is the facilitator, but it has the lesson plans with all the fun activities that go with it. So it's fun to engage your family, those enlightened families that want that social emotional intelligence taught. It's a done for you program for them. And then those who want to influence teens, it's a done for you. And we know that the teen brain is social. We know that they do better in groups. And when you put the synergy of teens together, it is so powerful. And they learn so fast together, relating together. I want to say there's really 3 areas that I focus on. There's 12 different chapters, and it is a journey and they build upon each other. But the first one is ownership. When they learn the science of the body and the brain and know how their brain works, then they have control over it. And we give them all these tools that they can use. And then they know what their accountability piece is. Because if we're never accountable, if it's always everybody else's fault, there's no change that happens. But when the focus is here and we change here and we can empower this, it's amazing how much freedom we have. And then we work on empowerment.
I was just going to say that is huge. So many teenagers feel like they're powerless, that that the adults in their lives are making decisions for them. So if they can learn to take accountability, that's huge. Okay, go ahead with the other 2. I'm sorry.
One of the kids at the very end, I said, what has been the biggest difference for you? And he said, I have more control over my life than I ever imagined. Then the second one is empowerment. We empower them with all these skills so they can understand what setbacks in their life really mean, like how to evaluate their friends, and those they associate with. There's actually a test that they put them through, like, is this someone that needs to be in my life? We talk about fear and how to manage fear. And so to do that, there's a lot of problem solving skills that are taught. We talk about self-worth and then how they treat other people. I mean, there's so much, I can't cover it all. And then we talk about the body, and there's 5 different ways for pure energy. And it has nothing to do with an energy drink, I can tell you that. But then we move into creatorship. So we go from ownership to empowerment to creatorship. And we teach them how to create. We teach them how to awaken your imagination. We teach them how to ignite those passions that they have and create an energetic blueprint for their life and bring it down here in the here and now with all these different skills. And to see them ignite in like taking the steering wheel of their life is probably one of the most amazing things that you can see. And parents are just going nuts over it. But like I said, a lot of the parents are saying, how come I didn't know this when I was a teen? And how come I didn't know it now? And now they're excited that they know it. And they're simple things. It's not overly complicated. I don't think.
Can I ask you a question?
Nope. We'll talk to you later. Hey, talk to you later. Sorry. Anyway, I wanted to let you know that when I have students come back and tell me the difference it made, that is such a payback. I can't even tell you. So I wanted to give you an example. One of these kids, I just gave him the book. He was helping out at my home. And I said, hey, do you want to like read this and give me some feedback on it? And he was one that was helping my son that just popped in, that's special needs. He was kind of a companion with him going to do some charity work. And so he sat down and started reading. He goes, do you think I could take this home? And I go, yeah, go ahead. You can take it home. He came back, and what he shared with me, he said, you probably don't know this. He said, but I've been suicidal for about 4 years. I've struggled with it. I was on a service mission. I was sent home. He said, I tried that first skill in chapter 2. He said, it has changed my life. Changed my life. Now, we know that the primary things in life are, to feel safe, to feel loved, and feel worthwhile. But you add a skill in there where they can now take charge of their life. It's like, man, I got a tool belt. Hey, I got things I can use. I can problem solve. And in a time of change when, the world is closing in and, we went through a crazy time in the country and people were thinking all of our opportunities are being taken away from us. But those creators, those ones who step into creatorship are saying, oh no, there's 10 other doors we can go through. And they see life as an opportunity. They see it as empowering possibilities instead of, oh man, look what's happening to me. They're like, look what I can create. So I don't know, Emily, I can go
That's
forever.
wonderful. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, in the minutes we have left, just tell us, how can people contact you? What's the best way to contact you? You were going to show us your website, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go on really fast. Are you okay if I share my?
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay, I'm going to, let's see. I believe I've got it. You should be able to see that. Are you seeing that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, there's the website. And again, it's nobrainers.com. And it is really a colorful and a fun agenda here. And if you'll notice, you can go up here, right here, and take the brain quiz. If you don't know if you're left or right brain, you will go on and find out. And what's fun is find out where you're dominant, and then some ideas to work towards being more whole brained. And we all use all of our brain, but sometimes we have one preference over another. Another thing is my podcast is in here, and also you can go into Win-Win TV, but there is, I mentioned that there is one on the miraculous teen brain. If you don't know about your teen's brain, I'd suggest you go there. And we teach tons of skills, breathing skills. That's probably one of the most powerful tools you can have, is learning how to breathe, because that's the fastest way to change your emotions. But if you go into the shop, I just want to show you, there is the self-study course. And of course, you have online support videos for every single chapter. You have the large curriculum book and the companion journal. We know that when you write, you have a different engagement with curriculum. You learn at a higher pace. And then we also have the second option, and that's that exciting level up facilitator training package. And what's exciting about this is that you get a jumpstart training certificate with me. It's half days, and you are able to train and go through your own journey. You get the highlights, you get to experience some of these things. And just to hear those participants that were like, man, this is so needed out there. We need to be able to have control over our life instead of letting life take control over us. But I have some training dates that are coming up. But if you are interested, there is a discount code. If you push in the discount EMPOWER on the self-study course, you'll get $25 off. But if you'd like our packed lens, experiential fun, come train, be in a Facebook group with all of us that are trying to influence others and ourselves, then push in empowerment and you'll get $75 off. I just want to mention, Emily, I know you have an amazing event that's coming up, and I'm excited to be a speaker there that day. And that day, I'm going to be teaching one of the most powerful tools and it's a gene skill that is so fun that you can go home and teach your family. And I've even made a game out of it. So any of them that, and I'm sure you're going to tell them about it coming up, and how to be a part of it. But they can go online, as you can see, and there's this rephraseology game, or you can get the bundle of the books so that you can learn more about the language of becoming a creator.
Awesome.
I'll stop sharing now.
Rozanne, thank you so much for being here. I love this valuable information for families. This will really help. I agree with everything you said. So to my listeners, come back next week at the same time. We're going to be talking about gaining confidence. I have some really fascinating guests next month as well. So until then, remember, we're making the world a better place by strengthening families. This is Emmylou Penrod at healingyourfamilies.com.